That morning, the strangest thing happened in our office. The toilets were clean, the floor sparkled, and yet half the workers were grumbling, gossiping, and cheating their duties. We all thought no one noticed until the cleaner walked in. None of us knew then he was the CEO's only son. I worked in one of the biggest companies in Lagos, owned by one of the wealthiest men in the city. The office was like a small town, busy people, ringing phones, and piles of files everywhere. But something was wrong. Workers had started coming late. Some pretended to work but spent their hours scrolling through their phones. Others took company supplies home, thinking nobody would see. We whispered among ourselves, wondering why the CEO never noticed. But the CEO was hardly around. He trusted his managers and believed his workers were loyal. Then, one Monday morning, a new cleaner joined us. He was young, tall, and dressed in plain overalls. Nobody knew his name. He swept quietly, mopped the floor, and smiled politely at everyone. We thought he was just another poor boy looking for small money. But we didn't know the poor cleaner was watching everything. I remember the first time I noticed him. He was bent over, scrubbing tiles near the reception. But his eyes were not on the floor, his eyes were on us. When our manager lied to a client on the phone, the cleaner raised his eyebrows. When one worker stole paper from the store, the cleaner nodded slowly. When I stayed behind to help balance the accounts, the cleaner gave me a smile. It was as though he saw everything, good and bad. Some workers mocked him. "Cleaner boy, hurry up and fetch water." Rose, my colleague, shouted one day. He only smiled, picked up the bucket, and walked calmly. What we didn't know, that smile was hiding the weight of the CEO's bloodline. Strange things began to happen. One worker swore she saw the cleaner writing in a notebook after hours. Another claimed he entered the CEO's office freely at night. We laughed at the rumors, thinking them foolish. But one afternoon, I overheard two managers whispering. "This boy is not ordinary. He is asking too many questions. Who sent him here?" I began to watch him closely. The more I looked, the less he seemed like an ordinary cleaner. His hands, though they held a mop, were too smooth, like someone who had never labored all his life. His shoes, though dusty, were of good quality. Who was he really? Then one morning, envelopes appeared on our desks. Inside each was a slip of paper. On mine, it read, "Your honesty will be rewarded." Others had slips with words like, "Your pride will cost you," or "Your laziness is sin." We were confused. No one claimed responsibility. Then came the day that shook us all. The CEO himself walked in, something that rarely happened. Behind him was the same cleaner, still in his overalls. "Today," the CEO said, his voice deep and calm, "we will know the true hearts in this company." The cleaner stepped forward, removed his cap, and we gasped. It was no ordinary boy, it was his only son, Kofi. My mouth went dry. Some workers dropped their pens. Rose, who had mocked him, covered her face. Kofi spoke with a firm but gentle voice. "I came to test this house my father built. Some of you wore smiles in front of him, but behind him you cheated, lied, and mocked those you thought were beneath you. But others worked with respect, even when no one was watching. The truth has been seen." He pulled out a small list. Names of the honest and hardworking were on one side. Names of the liars, thieves, and proud workers were on the other. The CEO looked at us, disappointment heavy in his eyes. A company is only as strong as the heart of its workers. Today, the masks are removed. That day, the office became silent as judgment fell. Some workers lost their jobs on the spot. Rose was among them, her pride had cost her dearly. Others begged for a second chance, but the CEO shook his head. Trust is like glass. Once broken, it is hard to repair. But those who had been honest, even when nobody was watching, were lifted. I was one of them. The CEO thanked me for my loyalty, and I was promoted to a higher role. In the days that followed, people talked about the CEO's son's disguise. But for me, the greatest lesson came later. One evening, I met Kofi in the hallway. He was no longer in overalls but in a sharp suit, preparing to join his father at the head of the company. He said to me, "This is not just about business. This is life. If you cheat in small things, you will fail in big things. But if you are faithful in little, you will be trusted with more." That is why kingdoms, homes, and companies survive, not by wealth, but by truth and humility. I never forgot those words. And so, the story of the CEO's son spread like fire. It became a lesson told across the city. Work as if the truth is always watching, because sooner or later, it is. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe for more intriguing stories.